Good way to start.
Beautiful way to start. And we're back. NFL Table Talk, old name. Still haven't really figured out the new name. Preview, review, whatever. Today we're doing the AFC West, NFC West preview with my boy D-Mart. What's up, dog?
It's good to be back, man. I'm just happy we're at this part of the year. It's football season. I'm getting the fever. I'm ready to go. Like, I don't know, got the tingly feeling, you know?
Absolutely. That's the only feeling that's right when it gets to August. I mean, I know you got your birthday at the end of the month.
But the football, man.
Football trumps all,
just
man.
brings a smile to the face.
But yeah, so I kind of prefaced it. I mentioned it on the last podcast. I brought Dalton in. Dalton will be a regular on the podcast as he was all the past. But I really want to get a breakdown, what to expect from the NFC West. That's your specialty, I know.
Sir.
But we're going to start with my specialty, a little AFC West preview.
Little chef.
Little cheap talk, you know? So stick. If you're just here for the NFC West, I know there's so many NFC West fans. That
I hear you. I got you guys. Just fast forward.
Yeah, it's fast forward. But no, we're going to start with the AFC West, and we're going to start with what we know best, the Kansas City Chiefs, or at least what I know best. But before I do that, actually, I'm kind of all over the place. Dalton, what have you been up to, man?
Oh, dude, just working, man. Just trying to get by, just waiting for football season, getting everything going, and I mean, not a whole lot, dude. Not a whole lot.
No, I hear you, man. Let's not talk about that. Let's just talk about
that's
football.
the important stuff. Let's stick to the good stuff.
So AFC West, all right. And we're kind of doing this on the fly. I mean, we got some notes here, but we'll see how it all shakes out. But we're gonna try and just break down each team, give a couple players to look out for, fantasy related, non-fantasy related. You know, something you've seen in the offseason that sparked your interest, maybe something that maybe made you think, wait, what's going on?
Been a lot going on this offseason.
A lot going on.
Yes, sir.
But so we'll start with the Chiefs, Kansas City. Obviously an abysmal ending to last season. I touched on that last podcast and basically didn't want anything to do with football for a good 3 months.
It's understandable.
Like, I really don't think the NFL draft, I was back into football.
Yeah. And then you always get that feeling. It's like, okay, well, it's time.
It's time.
Yeah.
Like, I can recover and everything like that. But no, really rough end to their season, as you know. I think that I'm willing to say it right here, right now. Chiefs are going to be better than last season. What do you got to say about that?
Better than last season. You know, I'll say this, okay? So you lose Tyreek Hill, a big part of the offense. I think that's something that's going to make Patrick Mahomes a much better quarterback. You saw it last year when he wasn't playing, you know, in those few games. Yeah,
and I mean, when I touched on this last time, but like Tyreek Hill, when he initially left, I think I might even talk to you over the phone when it happened, but like at first, like, oh my God, I was scared.
It's a scary deal.
But then I just started thinking, I think I was lying to myself originally, like, oh yeah, no, we'll be fine. No, this needed to be done. But now after the Band-Aid's been ripped off, all that, I do agree with you. I think that, you know, not having to always rely on that, or, oh, Tyreek's going to want to get his, I got to feed him the ball.
Well, and not only that, like, Mahomes always had a scapegoat, you know, like, and that, I think that kind of lessened him, like, as a quarterback. You know, obviously he's amazing, but like when you can just chuck it up and somebody, then he'll run back 5 yards and get a 45-yard catch, you know, which, I mean, it's awesome. You know, it's a 45-yard, gain, but at the same time, doing things the right way is sometimes better in the long run.
Oh, absolutely. And I think there's a lot to be said about the Chiefs' struggles last year. I mean, what were they, 3-4 at that one point in time? I mean, they gave away a couple games early, the Ravens, and can't remember who else, but it was really shaky there for a second. But everybody's, oh, they'll get it together. Well, I think the biggest problem was defenses finally understood how to defend the Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce combination. Basically, Travis is probably going to get his every week, but if we can just somehow keep 18 safeties back deep and not let Tyreek beat us.
Double Tyreek and double Kelce, or, you know,
I just think
one above, one below.
And also the run pass option. I mean, is like, there's sometimes when the Chiefs would run the RPO, it's just like, can we do something a little bit more, you know, legit? I mean, Just none of that flashy shit. Get rid of it. Like back when
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes was his first year starting, he was fucking
Clicking,
and
yeah.
he was spreading the ball around. I think being able to not have to focus in on so much shit, and you have all these weapons. Not to say that any of them are like a Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams level.
No, but there was a lot of acquisitions.
A lot of acquisitions, and we can get into that. So basically, Tyreek's gone, Juju Smith-Schuster in, Marquez Valdez-Scantling in, and Sky Moore drafted. Who would be the guy that, like, yo, you got to make a game plan for me every week? Who you think is going to become that? Because right now,
well, that's the big question. I mean, because you got a guy like MVS, stud athlete. I mean, he's just a freak, but he has trouble catching the ball.
Yeah.
You know, and if he can correct something like that, I think he can fill that void. Then you got a guy like Moore, and I think he's going to be a good slot guy for you and everything. There's just
early talks out of training camp, Twitter talks. Sky Moore is the number one out there. Not like taking number. He's just like the best talent, supposedly. Anyway.
I think Juju's going to be your first down guy, obviously.
Oh, yeah. I think he's going to. That's another thing. Like, there's something got to be said. Like, I mean, Matt Stafford probably heard it going before last season that he was never going to cut it, never be that top tier quarterback. Well, guess what he did? He got the humble. He shut everybody up. Well, this offseason, Mahomes have gotten so much. I mean, obviously, everyone still knows Mahomes great, but still, they're trying to act like.
A lot of talk.
There's not a lot of talk about him going to 4 straight AFC titles, though. There isn't a lot of that. But Juju falling off. Who's the number one guy? But I don't know, man. I don't know.
You got a plethora of choices to choose from as far as throwing it now. And now, you know, also Kelsey doesn't have to bear the responsibility of being that guy in every single game and putting a hurting on his body. I mean, he's getting old, you know. And like if you want to extend him for another, 2 to 3 years of the play where at that level, you got to do something else. Because him getting 14 targets a game ain't it.
Absolutely. And that's the thing I'm glad you mentioned that. So I have this thing on a fantasy note for the Kansas City Chiefs. I really do feel like Kelsey's going to have a kind of a come down. I still think he puts up 1,000 yards, get close to 10 tutties, but I don't think I drafted him in the first fucking round last year. A lot of people did. And obviously he's still going, I think, in that late second round, early third, but I just don't think that. I think he's the guy teams are going to be like, all right, especially early in the year. All right,
because they don't know who to focus on. Exactly.
Let's shut him down. Try to. And then I'm also like confused. Who's the out wide guys? Like until I see a couple preseason games and shit. Like, I mean, Juju makes most of his money over the middle in the slot. Sky Moore seems like a slot guy.
Yeah. I think MVS will be your outside guy for sure.
Yeah, I just don't. In the past, I just have always thought MVS is just a deep ball guy. Like I don't trust him on a slant or a curl route, or I don't know. It's just
the one thing about him is he couldn't get it done with Aaron Rodgers. That's the one knock that I had. And I've always kind of believed in him throughout the past 2 to 3 years or whatever, but it just hasn't clicked. Maybe you need a new location, new team, new vibes. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I mean they definitely need to do something with MVS because I think he has the talent, but on this podcast in the past, I can find it.
A lot of slander.
I've slandered MVS
a lot of slander,
and whatnot. So he needs to bring his A game, that's for sure. But then let's switch over to the defensive side. Tyrann Mathieu gone. This might be. I don't think it is controversial. I don't think Chiefs fans felt too good about him towards the end of it. And really, I think unless half his interceptions when he was a Chief were all like, tipped off the receiver's hand or quarterback overthrew by a mile. It seemed like. Well, I mean, he makes plays.
I mean, dude was a beast, but there was definitely a down step this last year. I mean, you could see it, all the missed tackles, there was a lot of plays where he wasn't hustling.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see it, when you're watching the game. So
toxic Chiefs fans, man.
Yeah. None of you guys like that comment. I will say that was partially true though at that time.
Whatever.
We won't
toxicity.
do that.
No, but I agree with you. I think he started coming down, and to pay a guy like that top end money, not worth it. Dirty Dan left. That was
heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking. I liked him when I liked him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, either you're cussing him or you're yeah, I get it.
And then Neiman's gone, but obviously they bring in a bunch of rookies. So I'm excited to see what the defense can do.
I like your rookies this year.
Yeah, Karl Loftus, McDuffie, the corner, and all the rest
Cool
of the guys.
last name.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. He's going to be a pro. He's going to be an all-pro.
And I tell you what else I like. I like Frank Clark taking his salary down there.
Yeah, and that's something I also saw too. He took his salary down, but he's been working with Karl Loftus out here like every day before, after practice, whatever.
It's cool to see.
And like I feel like, because I mean, obviously, he's not like a talking point for NFL big corporate media, but Chiefs fans.
Corporate media.
Yeah, I don't know why.
No, I love it.
But anyways, Chiefs fans, I don't think have been able to stand him for over a year just because he hasn't produced. I think that if you can get production out of Frank Clark like you were expecting, with the Karl Loftus on the other side, Chris Jones able to just do what he does in the middle.
Let's see some noise out of Chris Jones. You know, I mean, like he's got to make an impact and start leading that defense himself, and I think that's important.
And the one bad thing about Jones, I love Chris Jones. He's one of the best interior defensive linemen, but it seems like he'll play 3-4 games, sit out a game. 3-4 games, sit out a game.
He's gassed or something, yeah.
You know, or they're just not trying to have him there at the end of the year, whatever. But no, so I mean, as far as like looking over offense, defense, I don't see any major regressions except for Tyreek, but like just having that Tyreek factor. But I mean, like we talked about already, all the additions they brought in. So really, that's why when I prefaced earlier that I think the Chiefs are going to be better, I think they've gotten better in multiple areas. They've gotten a little bit worse at their best receiver, but it's not like Tyreek Hill isn't Devontae Adams. He's not doing your 15-yard
He's not that
routes.
same. He's not the route runner. He's not I mean, he worked in that offense very well.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, let's not mince words. He's great receiver. I mean, he's one of the best in the league, top 5, probably close to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's not the prototypical tall, go up and get it, type of guy. He's your home run hitter.
Absolutely. But I think the Chiefs, especially in this, we're about to get to the rest of the teams. I think their biggest deal. I mean, obviously, if Mahomes is going fucking nuclear, I think they're gonna be all right either way. But that defense can be something that we can get behind. 13-4.
Who knows? I will say this: in your division, especially after this offseason, you got a lot of teams that are specifically coming for your necks.
Absolutely.
I mean, like you saw that we'll get to that, but I mean.
Well, and another thing I don't like about on Twitter, I've seen a lot of people talking about what wasn't invented the last time the Denver Broncos beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and it was like TikTok and like basically the Broncos ain't beat us in like 6 years almost.
That's a pretty cool stat.
It's a cool stat, but don't be talking about that.
Yeah, when they talk about stuff, that's when it gets broken.
Right at the end of the year,
yeah.
But no, I'm excited. So we'll twist that. We'll give you our standings for the division after the rest of these teams, and kind of a player to look out for fantasy. Actually, let's do before we move on to the Chargers are next. Who's a player on the Chiefs team that you think could have a big fantasy year besides Mahomes, Kelsey? I kind of maybe already asked you, Juju. Is that your answer?
I think it's going to be Juju. I think he's going to be a first down machine for you guys. I really do. I think he's a guy that can fill that void because like I said, I don't think Travis Kelce is going to be on the field quite as much as he has been in the past years. And like just kind of obviously Juju doesn't have the same body type, but I mean, he's got the same type of routes that they run, across the middle stops, that 12 to 15 yard gain type game. And I think he's going to be big for you guys. And I mean, like we were saying, someone's going to explode. But he's the one that I think for sure will contribute.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you think about it, I'm totally guessing. I could pull it up, but I'm lazy. I mean, Tyreek Hill, good for 1,400 yards. I think he had like 15 touchdowns last year. That's a lot of production that's going to go elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to throw the name in the hat. Sky Moore, already mentioned it. I think Sky Moore.
I like that one too.
Just because I want him to be good. He looks cool, got the name,
Very cool.
The number 24. Ooh, that's clean.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's your birthday day, right?
That's right. 24. Shout out 24s. All my 24s out there.
All my 24s. No, but so yeah, That's the Chiefs. Stay tuned for the standings. Chargers, Dalton.
Chargers,
Made
boy.
a lot of moves, a lot of splash. They're trying to get on that Chiefs level. What they're trying to do is they're trying to meet that hype that everybody has for them every single season. Let's talk about it.
Well, I mean, first of all, Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
I mean, him and Bosa going on that line is going to be something else. That's going to be hard to fit. And you saw all these teams in the AFC West making those moves on the defense to, I mean, like I said, go for the necks of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So I think that's what a lot of that's been about as far as that goes. And the wide receivers, I mean, Keenan Allen. I've never been a huge fan. I know you like him.
Love him.
I think
I hate the Chargers. I love him.
I love Mike Williams. I think Mike
great.
Williams is right on the verge of being like an absolute superstar receiver. We saw it last year in the first half, kind of slowed down towards the end of it.
It's consistency week to week.
Yeah, right? But I mean, like as far as like web gems of catches and just amazing plays, you're just like wow factor. Mike Williams is the guy.
Well, and like I've always kind of been sourpuss on certain playmaking ability from the receiver because really, and I'm taking this back to the Chiefs, for the last couple of years, the Chiefs haven't had a guy that you throw it to one-on-one coverage and like a Jamar Chase go up and get that ball.
Right, yeah.
And just like that,
like a physical.
Mike Williams, I think, is the best at it.
Yeah, he's
one-on-one, throw it up. They ain't getting picked.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
He might not come down with it, maybe, but he's probably going to make a fucking awesome catch. But
and another little lesser-known name, Josh Palmer. He's going to be the third receiver.
I got a bunch of his rookies.
Yeah, the reason why the name sticks out to me, I remember watching preseason last year. I believe it was Easton Stick.
Oh yeah,
their backup quarterback. Throwing, and you know, it's preseason. I was just amped up, but Easton Stick to Josh Palmer last year, and the fact that Josh Palmer was getting more and more reps towards the end of the season last year, I think he'll be something to look out for too, especially considering how injury. I mean, like, you know, I love Mike Williams, don't like Keenan Allen, but they're both injury prone. You know, he could be the guy at any moment in time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's who else do they got at receiver? Do they have anybody?
I think they got
guys that balled out last year.
Another guy to watch out for at tight end. I'm a fan because he was a Ram, Gerald Everett. I think he's a guy that I think that, like in the right offense. I don't know. He's washed anyways.
Anyways,
but I think he's a guy that in the right offense can really do well. He's got a lot of talent, got a lot of raw talent, and I think in that offense specifically, he could thrive.
Oh, absolutely.
I really think so. And then especially you got the backfield, Melvin Gordon and
Melvin
Gordon,
Denver Broncos.
Oh shit! No, yeah. my bad. Different names. But Austin Eckler, and then they just draft a guy too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get his name right.
Yeah,
they did draft a guy and they're high on him.
Okay.
But they drafted.
In my defense, Melvin Gordon used to play for them. So
last year they drafted Mizzou's own Larry Roundtree.
Yes.
Mike Mason was like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna be the guy they're watching."
I'm not gonna lie, he was on my team for a little bit.
You gotta have the handcuffs.
Yeah. Well, and it's Austin Eckler, another guy.
Oh yeah.
A lot of injury prone fellas.
Yeah, and he's
on the
going
Chargers.
real high. We'll get into that later this month. Fantasy.
Then on the defense,
I mean, you said it, Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa is probably the most dynamite pass rush in the league.
Derwin James.
He
was injured most of last year, correct?
He missed the entire year the year before, but I'm pretty sure he was playing
Did he play okay.
But he missed, I think, like half the season.
And
I know when the Chiefs beat the Chargers on that game winner, Derwin didn't play that game, and like they were like, "Oh,
if we had Derwin,
that would have never happened," you know.
And then Asante Samuel Jr.
Yeah,
I like him. He came alive last year. It's just cool, like nostalgic, seeing the sons of guys. Like I remember him, you know. And it's cool.
Yeah,
and
they picked up J.C. Jackson from the Patriots.
Yeah, and that's big too. So that's two very strong corners on the end of that defense, and I think they're going to be really strong this year. I obviously huge fan of Brandon Staley. Used to be the Rams. He's a big defensive guy. He plays that star position, kind of like they did with Jalen Ramsey, and I think they're doing the same with Derwin James now. But I think that defense has a lot of different things that it can do, and we'll see how they execute. But
no, I'm definitely interested to see what happens with the Chargers. I already mentioned it, but seems like every single year is like, oh, the Chargers are the team to watch. And I've seen a lot of people saying that it's Chargers and Bills, I feel like, have dominated the offseason and as far as who to look out for. But I think everybody's always just trying to pick that team that hasn't done it yet, that's going to do it.
Well, and we didn't even mention Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like dude's an animal. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league right now.
I mean, like watching him play, definitely. I mean, he could be a little bit more charismatic, but
Okay. No, yeah, he's good though. Big frame, he can run the ball.
I mean,
cool dude.
Honestly, and what I've noticed since he came in the league, he plays like he's game for the Chiefs every fucking time.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He brings it to us. That's definitely, I would put him. Obviously Brady's like a fucking like witch or something, and he just like he has like curses he puts on opposing teams. But I'd say Herbert's probably the number one dude I don't want to play quarterback wise. Allen's high up there too, just because it seems like nobody can keep him fucking contained. But anyways, so Chargers definitely a lot. I think they've gotten better too. And I mean, remember week 18, the overtime loss against the Raiders, that crazy game?
Where they were playing to lose or the tie, because they could have had the tie game, right? And they both would have made the playoffs, correct?
But they lose because they tried to win it.
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird deal.
I want to watch that one back sometime. But no, so definitely, I mean, they were on the cusp of the playoffs, and I definitely expect them to make the playoffs. But we'll get into the standings a little bit later. But definitely, I think we're both in consensus that Chargers are going to be a team to look out for.
Yeah, they're going to be legit. I think so too.
All right, so the Las Vegas Raiders, almost at Oakland.
Raiders.
I think Oakland's finally getting out of my mind, But no, the Vegas Raiders, I mean, they probably made the biggest splashes, I would say. I mean, Devontae Adams,
and then
best receiver in the league.
Chandler Jones on the other side. Him with Max Crosby.
I'm about to say Mason Crosby.
That's the kicker, I think, yeah.
But no, they've made big splashes as well. But the biggest splash they made, which I think is the reason why they will not be as good as everyone wants to crack them out to be, Josh McDaniels. Welcome back to the head coaching realm. But I'm telling you right now, I mean, what happened in Indianapolis? He signed with them, and then Belichick was like,
I think Belichick had a whisper in his ears like, hey, you're going to take the reins one day.
So
and then never did it. But
so he thought that this job was the job. All right, I can go do this. And they paid him fat, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, he's an offensive mind, but the Raiders for the last couple seasons just fall apart at the second half of the season every fucking year.
I'll tell you what, another interesting thing. I don't know if you watched the Hall of Fame game or not, but they had Josh Jacobs playing. Thought that was odd.
It's like he's like thinks his job's on the line or something,
right? And that big story came out how they weren't gonna sign him to an extension and everything.
This is last year, right?
And I mean, they gave Kenyon Drake a good amount of money last year, right?
2 years before. It was like 2 years. He's only getting like $5 million a year. But
okay.
You got Jacobs and you sign a guy, I think Jacobs is a good fucking back.
I like Josh Jacobs, honestly. I do. I think he's a good hard runner. I mean, he's gonna get you those 3 to 4 yards. But I mean, obviously, they're seeing something or not seeing something we are. I don't know. But
my take on the Raiders is, I think the Raiders can be as good as they want to be.
I think they can be as good as Derek Carr will allow them to be.
And that was basically. I think I know you've noticed this, but the Raiders, some games when Derek Carr isn't doing too much, when they run the ball first and then let him play action, he can look like a top.
Oh, he can sling it, yeah.
And he. Like, I've seen games where he's 24 for 20 fucking 8 or some shit,
Well, and
that's great. Like, when they do that,
they get clicking.
Scary.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that now, him and Devontae Adams obviously got that history in college and everything. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's a cool deal.
It definitely is. And Devontae's just so cool. I seen him on a commercial last night. I was like, dude, that dude's fucking
He's just a cool dude.
He's cool.
Yeah.
His hair is dope. It's dope. But I think Waller, I mean, I said this on my last podcast. I think Travis Kelce, I would take it tight end over everyone. But for like a one game, next is Darren Waller. Like, I think he's fucking awesome.
I think he's a stud.
He's got a lot of ability. I would just take him over Kittle, and I would. I'm sorry.
I'd probably take him over Kittle too.
And Mark Andrews is
that's
right
for
there
a different
too.
reason.
Yeah, fuck you. No, but so I mean, you got Waller. Adams, and Hunter Renfrow.
Hunter Renfrow. Okay, I'm about done with all the Hunter. There's been a whole lot of talk about Hunter. Like I understand he's good.
He's good, definitely.
But like, hey, I sound like a little bit of a homer. But whenever we get to comparing Cooper Kupp and Hunter Renfrow, I tend to draw the line.
Who's doing that?
Yeah. I'd be on Twitter too much, but still, that shit pisses me off.
Well, my point I'm making with them is, I feel like that might be a recipe, especially with Josh McDaniels being, an offensive guy, passing, all that.
Well, Hunter Renfrow is like the Patriots' dream receiver too.
Yeah,
So
but I think is, I think Derek Carr might end up might be under the. I just feel like he might push his luck, might be doing too much this year. Because I feel like when you take the ball out of Derek Carr's hands, he can then be a good quarterback. When you make him, because early in his career, everybody was like, "Oh, Derek Carr's going to be the next great," and he had that like real early great season,
that surge, yeah.
And then like for 3 years,
people were like,
Cooper, "Is he going to get fucking cut?"
Yeah, Well, but I will say how is Josh McDaniels going to coach him? Is he going to coach him like Tom Brady, or is he going to coach him like Mac Jones?
Well, if you listen to fucking Raiders fans, they think Derek Carr is fucking like top 5.
He's a god.
And I'll never forget the Chiefs game when he's sitting there.
Oh yeah. That's a great look.
Yeah, terrible look.
But something about him, like him and his brother, I don't know. I can't stand. His brother more so. I can't stand his brother. His takes are just god awful. Yeah.
I mean, Houston Texans quarterbacks, you can't trust them.
Gosh, yeah.
But no, final words on the Raiders.
I think they're going to be good, but there's a lot of good teams in that division.
Absolutely. Let's get to the last one.
Good on that.
Denver Broncos.
Broncos country.
Let's ride.
Let's ride.
When that motherfucker pulled up to camp in his jersey, I was like, dude, I've never seen that.
He's like, Russell Wilson is the closest thing to a cartoon character that we're ever going to see.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and like just the lack of self-awareness to see, it's like, what, you guys don't think I'm cool? No, but in all honesty, great quarterback, great addition for the Broncos. Weird move by John Elway.
You were saying he was washed.
Well, yeah, but
so which is it?
I think it's a massive upgrade. I'll put it that way. Yeah. And it was a weird move though, I think, because normally they go after the big, tall quarterback, hurdle him in, gunslinger.
Who's that one dude?
Is that
Brock Osweiler?
Yeah, like 6'7". He like lives in the mountains by himself now or something. But
he's scared to fucking be seen.
Yeah. But they're going to be good. It was sad to see my boy Tim Patrick go down the other day, man. He's a guy that I've kind of
that's huge.
Fantasy radar for the last like 2 to 3 years. He kind of came alive
last year.
Yep. And who's going to step up? Is it going to be KJ Hamler? Is it, Jerry Jeudy? They're kind of the same players though.
Yeah.
So I think Cortland Sutton's going to have to be massive this year.
Cortland Sutton, like he's going to have to be like, is he a top 5 receiver? He's going to need like one of them type of years.
Well, he's going to need to be the DK Metcalf, and then you're going to have.
I don't think he is.
I don't necessarily think he is either, but that's how Russ is going to play with him. Oh, yeah. And then I think Jerry Jeudy is going to have to be the Lockett, if you will. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They got Javonte Williams, great running back, and then
Melvin Gordon.
That's the right.
Now we're here.
Yeah.
Alberto.
I think they're going to try and be a run first team. I have that feeling, especially with Tim Patrick going down, because really, because Hamler could have a couple good days at the office, but it's really only Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, and really both of them two are unproven.
Yeah.
I mean, just on the grand scheme of things, I think they're both great talents, but.
So you're telling me that game on the line, Russell Wilson throws the ball, he's not going to mess up?
Oh, I mean, we've seen it in the past.
I'm sorry, I just had to find a way to get that joke in there.
No, yeah, but I think, because I've heard that their offensive line's like one of the better ones. That's why Russ went there, because he's been complaining about offensive line help his whole entire fucking career. But Javonte Williams, they have a two-headed run, and Javonte towards the end of last year was looking great. I just think that, especially with Russ trying to get comfortable, and I don't know, like now the more I think about it, I just don't see the passing game being that phenomenal there.
I think it's going to be big play action.
Like 1,500 yards.
It's going to be a big play action type offense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hear what you're saying. I mean, I have personal thoughts about Russell Wilson just because like he like this, and obviously the Seahawks are a team total, but like when the Rams have played them over the past 2 years, I have not been scared about playing the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's got to say something, like Russell Wilson is not the guy that he used to be. He's not like he was kind of the Kyler Murray-esque type quarterback.
Was it last season where he's like the first couple games of the year, everybody's like, "Oh my God, MVP!"
Well, he did that last couple of years. Yeah,
and then you just by fucking week 8, he's like running 20 yards back, throwing a ball 30
getting
million.
slung around. Yeah.
I like Russ's game. I used to like the person. I don't know what to even think of him anymore, but I think that if they get the Russell Wilson of the last couple seasons, then they need Russell Wilson to be Russell Wilson. Like, and the thing is, the Seahawks the last couple seasons are probably like the worst roster in that division. NFC
and that's
West.
what I'm saying. It's hard to measure that up against.
You're in the AFC West. I mean, put all the teams together.
Well, and he's been in tough division. He went from one tough division to another tough division. So I don't know what his expectations are. And also, like the guys that he was throwing to, I mean, it's kind of the same clientele. You know what I mean? Like the same guy. We made the comparisons earlier.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not like he was throwing to Joe Schmo in Seattle.
I was scared because I was thinking of Manning going to Denver and then them winning a Super Bowl, and I was thinking, oh my God, they were.
Speaking of that was Brock that led that team. Don't forget that.
That's crazy to fucking think about.
Manning came in the Super Bowl and stole all the glory.
Yeah,
but
he stole the show. But I think we're basically done covering the teams. Or anything else you want to say on the Broncos? I mean,
let's ride.
Let's ride. I'll just say this. I think Broncos finished last, and I'm going to go ahead and give my standings. You counter them. I'm going Chiefs number 1. Obviously, why the hell wouldn't I? I mean, I can eat my words one day if it happens, but I definitely think that they have the best coach in the division, best quarterback in the division, and those two alone, I think, speak highly for your chances of winning the division. Then the last thing, they got all the experience. They essentially have basically the same nucleus team. They got a lot of young guys. It's going to really depend on them young guys. But Chiefs number 1. I got the Chargers number 2. I could easily see the Chargers take it, but everybody's saying that. And when have the Chargers actually done it? Let's see it first. Then I got the Raiders 3, Broncos 4, just like we did the lineup.
I honestly got the same exact thing, except for
you're not going to go Chargers 1.
I'm going Chargers 1.
I knew he was. Yeah. There it is. I got
Chargers than Chiefs. I really like Herbert. They got a young team, a lot of energy over there, good vibes. I'm excited to see what they can do.
I like that. I respect it. I don't like it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Now, I don't know if we did or not. Let's just do the division as a whole. Okay. Who's one guy in the AFC West you at least aren't drafting first 4 or 5 rounds, maybe not even drafting at all? Who's a guy that should be on radars, or at least will be on radars by the midpoint of the year?
I'm going to go back to my guy, Gerald Everett.
Gerald Everett.
Yes.
So you're saying lock into Everett late rounds tight end.
I think he'd be a good pickup. I think he's going to be a guy that sees a lot of volume, sees a lot of targets. And especially in that offense, I mean, they're going to be slinging it. They're going to be throwing it downfield. And who knows? Like I said, with the injury-prone wide receiver core, who knows? I like Gerald Everett in that offense, though.
Okay. I like that. My pick, unsung hero is what we're going to call it. I'm a Chiefs homer. I don't want to be for this one. I said Sky Moore. Definitely that could be one. But here's a good one. I think Albert O. I'll stick with the tight end. Mizzou boy. So, I got to have a little bit of love for him, even though Mizzou sucked for like a decade. But I mean, anytime you got a last name like that, it carries weight.
Well, and Russ loves his tight ends. I will say that.
He does. What was that one year he had what was that guy's name?
Dallas.
Number 44 was like his tight end. Redheaded dude.
Yeah, he had a couple. Hollister. And,
Hollister is another guy.
Yeah, he had a couple of guys.
Some weird. Anytime you make a guy named Hollister look good on the football field.
I just remember him coming close, like Hollister. I can't remember the other guy's name though.
But I'm gonna go Alberto. I think that they'll need him just because they really only have like 2 guys.
It's a nice crutch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a guy I'm going to look at late rounds. But anyways, that's your unsung hero. Any final things on the AFC West? I mean, everyone's coming to us for all things, division related.
All things football,
baby.
I think the division speaks for itself. It's probably the toughest division football, I'd say. Probably.
I think just the quarterbacks alone make it that, but I mean, I understand, but
2 and on.
Yeah, AFC East, man, they got the best ones. All right, so that's the AFC West. I'm excited to hear what you got to say, because when's the last time a team repeated Super Bowl?
The Patriots and
they did repeat.
Yeah, it's been a minute though.
We don't see it a lot.
No, yeah, it's not. Doesn't happen very often.
I want your case for why the Los Angeles Rams are going to repeat.
Okay, well, first of all, I think we saw how successful Matt Stafford. There was some bumps and bruises along the way, but we saw how successful Matt Stafford was in the Sean McVay offense with just 1 year in, and seeing all the things that they were able to do with him that they weren't able to do before with, God bless him, Jared Goff. But
bless up, Jay Goff.
And there's been some additions. We've lost some guys, but there has been some additions. So we've lost Austin Corbett, hell of an offensive lineman. We've lost Darius Williams. He's a corner.
That's how you know you're listening to a Rams fan. Yeah. I was going to challenge him, like, who the fuck's Austin Corbett?
He's good.
I believe it, but anyway.
And then Odell, yet to be seen.
I was about to ask, what is he doing?
I don't know. He's very cryptic online. I keep on seeing Sean McVay keeps bringing him up in interviews, and he keeps kind of chirping back and forth with the Rams. He also I saw him a little interaction with Von Miller. That would make me very angry if he went to the Bills.
If he went to Buffalo,
yeah.
I actually like OBJ. Even when all the media was against him and everything, I still liked him. I think you might have went off the OBJ bandwagon.
Never. I've been the biggest OBJ fan in my whole life.
But if he went to the Bills, oh my God.
Yeah, that'd be awful.
But they don't need him. They got fuck the Bills. We're not talking about
them.
Anyways. But is he coming back?
I think he's gonna be a Ram. I think got that ring this last year. You saw him crying during the Super Bowl.
Big emotional. Sure he lives in LA.
Yeah, I mean, dude wants to be in Cali. Come on, man.
And why would you want to play in Buffalo?
Defending Super Bowl champions. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to play in the cold, brother. Your bones are brittle as it is.
Exactly.
So, that has yet to be seen. So we'll see what happens there. Obviously, Robert Woods. That's a big loss that happened in the middle of last year. But my guy, watch out, big radar. Obviously had an off season last year.
Finish this, and I got a real important question. Go.
Okay. Allen Robinson. He's been and I know it's his training camp. Whatever. He has been lighting it up at training camp. And
that's cool.
What does Matt Stafford like to throw to? Big guys. We've seen it. Throughout his whole career. And now last year we kind of saw him focusing on, obviously Cooper Kupp, hell of a season, Triple Crown winner. Some are saying the best receiver in football, but he focused on him a lot. He over-targeted him. We saw him make some decisions that weren't necessarily the best decisions at times when trying to, force the ball to him. I think this acquisition of Allen Robinson being able to, he's another guy, we're talking about Mike Williams, go up and get it type guys. Allen Robinson is that guy. And we'll see if he can replicate some of his earlier seasons, whether it be with the Jags or what.
That's what I was saying. Best quarterback to date for Allen Robinson. Go. Who is it? Who's his best quarterback he's ever had thrown to? Did
Nick Foles have a year with him or no?
Yeah, but that was not Big Dick Foles.
No,
that was Little Dick Foles.
Yeah.
Best Dicky. Maybe Blake Bortles.
Both.
Just for that 1 year. just there. But I was going to say, dude, Allen Robinson he's going to have a great year. I want to get him in every league. But big thing. Did you see this story about Matt Stafford's shoulder?
It's elbow.
Elbow, but they're comparing it to like a MLB pitcher injury.
Yeah, like Tommy John's type. I don't know.
What the fuck? What if week 3 after throwing 50 times against whoever.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not worried about it. We had the same conversation last year.
They did? Okay.
Yeah,
I did not know
I
that.
mean,
I thought
it was always going on. I mean, he's at the end of the day, he's one of the toughest motherfuckers in football.
Oh, dude.
Period.
Oh,
I mean,
dude.
like, it's undeniable.
When I think of Matt Stafford, I think of red zone 2 years ago against the Falcons, Detroit Lion Matt Stafford, leading them down, getting beat the fuck up left and right, then throwing a game winner in overtime. Yeah. That's what I think of.
Then he had the one where he fake snapped and hopped over the line.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, I mean, I owe everything to Matt Stafford, so I'm riding the coattails, and I believe in everything along the way. And I got a burp going on, I can't get it out. And then obviously, defensively, Bobby Wagner, baby. I've been watching this dude tear my offense up for years on the Seahawks. I cannot tell you how awesome it is to see him in a Rams jersey, man.
Oh yeah,
so excited. Him, and I don't know if you follow it very well, but Ernest Jones, our other middle linebacker, he had a very a couple very good games and lit up a few times and made some game changing plays. And from what I hear in training camp, they just been hooked at the hip.
really.
And to see that, just one of the best linebackers in football over the last decade, teaching the younger guy was a rookie last year. I mean, it's good to see. Yeah,
absolutely.
And then obviously you got Jalen Ramsey on the outside. He had a little work done on his.
I seen that he's on a PUP list or whatever, but they expect him.
Yeah, he'll be back. But he was playing last year, I think, on I can't remember if it was a bum knee or I think it was a shoulder actually. But anyways, he's going to be
2 very different parts of the body.
Yeah, not one person's knee is another man's shoulder.
True, I've heard that.
But then on defensively, the safety, I love our safety core. We got 4 strong safeties: Nick Scott, Jordan Fuller. Then on the other side, we got Troy Hill back as a corner. Got him for free after he went to the Browns for a couple years. They the Browns kind of brown. We got him back and basically traded away nothing for him, which is nice. Got a lot of rookies I'm looking forward to seeing. And I'm very excited for this year as far as the Rams go. And if we can keep, even a guy like Tutu Atwell, we don't obviously he's a smaller, he's Tavon Austin, that's what it sickens me, to think of that memory or whatever. Just Tavon, there was some good time. There was the worst times and the best times. But I think if Tutu can be in the right sets and the right formations, I think he can really succeed in this offense, whether it be end arounds or, long goes. And then another thing that kind of scares me is the Van Jefferson injury. He just had that surgery, but from what they're saying, it's very minor. He should be back either for week 1 or week 2.
Forgot all about Van.
But he's a stud. He showed out last year. He is.
No, I don't obviously he's a stud.
He's MVS if MVS had hands.
But is he? I don't know if he's done. MVS has had a much better career than Van.
Well, Van's played in the league 2 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't put him on the same pedestal, but
I would like to look up the most yards in the season between MVS and Van Jefferson.
I'll do that. Where's my phone? Keep talking.
Okay, but anyways, in the back, and then in the backfield, obviously we got Cam Akers. I felt like he came back a little too early last year, and he had a couple good games there and whatnot. But I think a good offseason. I think he's going to be ready to play. Darrell Henderson, obviously. Tyler Higbee's coming back. You got something over there?
So 2020 MVS had 690 receiving yards.
I win.
What did Van have?
More than that. I don't know. I'm saying more. I'm saying 820.
Oh, 802.
Woo!
But he had Matt Stafford throwing him the ball, dude.
Right, much better than A-Rod.
True. Yeah, but Devontae Adams took all the catches, man.
All right, Cooper didn't do that.
I'm just saying this. Okay. This is the last thing I'll say. Okay, no, that doesn't help my point either. They had the same number of touchdowns last year.
Point is, we got pass catchers everywhere.
That was probably a good comp.
Yeah.
Probably was.
But
I tried to look cool there, and it did not work.
we'll see what happens. The roster is very top heavy. Injuries are not in our favor.
Yeah.
So I mean, you were talking about it with Stafford. Like, he's a tough dude, but if something happens to him, that totally derails our whole season. And a weird little tidbit: there's been talks about Jimmy G coming to LA.
Back him up.
I guess, yeah. I mean, he obviously wouldn't be the starter, but I mean, and that remains to be seen.
Like it.
But it's, if you have a roster like the Rams do, you got to have a plan B. Yeah. So and
Blake Bortles ain't it.
Blake Bortles, and if he was there, then we'd be talking a different conversation. But no, it's John Walford, and bless his heart, but I just don't think he's that guy.
I mean, he played big for y'all against the 49ers, right? Yeah. Anyways, my thing with the Rams is I think that they're going to run away with this division. We're going to get into the next three teams. But obviously, if Matt Stafford elbow deal would be serious, and that'd be really bad for him. But, dude, I mean, that fucking roster is just talented. Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, two of the biggest names. Aaron Donald's the best defensive player in the NFL, and Jalen Ramsey probably the best cornerback. But
and sprinkling Leonard Floyd, like we got a lot of guys.
A lot of guys. Bobby Wagner, the Ernest Bull. So basically, I think the Rams just fucking run away with this division, and you're gonna be real happy all year. Now, when we get to the playoffs, start playing against old Brady bunch, it might be a little different.
Oh, we're fucking 3-0 against that loser.
Exactly. I wish that is 3-0 against Brady. That's
Brady on the Bucks.
On the Bucks. That's still
not on the Patriots.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah. So is that good on Rams talk?
I'm good on it.
I think you did great.
We know what they are.
Yeah, we know what they are. You don't got to spend time.
I know my truth.
Yeah, you don't got to spend a lot of time on a Super Bowl champ, man. San Francisco. I almost wanted to call up old Austin Huss, ATL, the only 49er fan I know. But I am going to come out on a limb here and say that the 49ers are lucky that the Seahawks are maybe going to put Drew Lock at quarterback. I'm going to put it that way. Because I'm telling you right now, Trey Lance ain't the guy. There's a reason Trey Lance got hidden all last year, it seemed like. They would bring him in at the 2-yard line to do little play actions or
run into the corner of the end zone.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you got a guy that can't be the guy, why are you putting him out there? I feel like the only reason they did it was because he wasn't there. I'm trying to put the words together. I don't think that he was ever there last year, but they wanted him to be. And then like, fuck, we got to throw in Jimmy G. But then Jimmy G was winning games.
Yeah, I mean.
But now.
All he does is win.
Bro, I really think Trey Lance is going to be bad. Like, people will post a video of him throwing a ball to Ayuk in practice. Like, you know how many balls he's thrown to Ayuk in practice? Probably 200. You found the one good one. Great. Tremendous. They're saying he's looking good in practice and whatnot.
The one thing that does scare me, Shanahan's offense is a great offense, period. I mean, you see what he's done with Jimmy G. He can make a lot out of a little. I will say that. And who knows if he's going to run that option style of offense, like maybe it's going to look like a college Navy type deal or something.
He's going to need Deebo Samuel touching the ball 30 times a game.
Right. And how is that sustainable? Like
for 2 games.
And then, we can get George Kittle. He'll be good for a couple games and injure his knee and be out for 7 games. But that's fine. That's good.
That's to be expected.
Brandon Ayuk. I like Brandon Ayuk. How do you like him?
I do like Brandon Ayuk. That's probably the only reason why that made headlines, because Ayuk is good enough to go up and make a catch. But
and their defense is. I hate the Niners with all my heart. Their defense is dope.
But isn't it just the front 7?
They got good defensive backs too, man. I mean,
I just know that
they're strong.
I just remember this shows that I don't know shit about the 49ers, but I knew Sherman wasn't there anymore. So I'm like, I don't know anybody there, man.
Well, and Sherman was
Tart. Is that a guy?
Yeah, just Jaquiski Tart.
Jaquiski Tart.
And thank you, Tart. Like, I just want to make this known. You were the one that let us go to the Super Bowl. You dropped the interception.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Bless you, Tart.
No, that's good. You always need that. But Nick Bosa, obviously one of the best defensive linemen out there. They got Eric Armstead.
And then who's their linebacker stud?
Fred Warner.
Fred Warner.
Motherfucker doing mixed martial arts and
yeah.
backflips all the time.
That video was cool as hell. Yeah.
That dude is crazy.
Yeah.
They got those guys, but like you said, I'm looking at where the leadership's coming from offensively. Okay, you got Kittle out there. Well, Kittle ain't gonna play every fucking game.
No, he's not.
So when he's not out there, Debo, he seems like I could be wrong, but it seems like Debo might be a little on the selfish side.
Well, and I'm sorry, I got to go back to Kittle for a second. Why do we keep talking about him like he's one of the best tight ends in the league?
Thank you, Dalton.
I mean, when's what has he had 1,000? Let's check that out.
No, he had 940 yards or something last year. I'm glad you said this. It actually reminded me. Dude hasn't put together a full season, maybe except for the one where he broke the record for most receiving yards.
And I mean, talk about trailer park trash.
No. Wait, what?
I don't know. I just don't like his haircut. I don't like it. He just looks like not a fan of George Kittle, to say the least. So we haven't seen 1,000-yard year at him since 2019. 2019 is when he had his last one.
No, that's 2 fucking seasons.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
That's 2 whole seasons. What was his stats in 2020?
2020 was 48 receptions for 634 yards.
And missed like half the year, probably.
2 touchdowns.
How many games played last year? Does it show? It should to the left.
I don't got it right here.
Anyways, so back-to-back seasons, he hasn't even put up 1,000 yards. And I would say his touchdowns are like 4 or 5.
I just think it's kind of ironic with all the great tight ends that we have in the league, and we keep talking about him.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, okay.
And that's obviously there's a part of haterism coming from me that, but
and me too, because Kelsey's my guy, and I always hate when people say he's better. But like, okay, being able to be you're the best blocking tight end in the league. Fucking great, man. But dude, that has nothing to do with being the best. Like, okay, if he would, Travis Kelce has put up 1,000 yards. Was it like 7 seasons in a row or something crazy? Every season or something, or since he took over, whatever.
Got the record.
Yeah. And we're talking about Kittle, who hasn't had 1,000 yards in 2 years. Okay. I would love Austin, if you're listening, please, we need to get you on the podcast and just have this debate. I just want to. That's the only thing I'm bringing to the argument. Too. When's the last time he had a fucking 1,000 yards? No, but I think I was saying Debo. I feel like he's a little selfish, but I was getting at the leadership aspect. I think Kittle's all talk too. Like, yeah, he's hard nosed as fuck. I feel like he's a douche.
Yeah,
he definitely comes off as a douche on that podcast with Taylor or.
Bussin'
with the boys.
Yeah,
like he's been on there.
I think everybody on that podcast is a douche.
Well, what's his face is actually at least. I feel like he could be like
Taylor Lewan.
No, the other guy. Taylor Lewan's
I don't like him.
Will Compton. I just feel
not a fan, but I feel you.
Just feel like he would be like not a horrible guy to be around. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're talking about that fucking.
I don't know either.
But Kittle, yeah. I hate the 49ers, bro.
I do too, man.
Especially since we played them in the Super Bowl. I got in so many arguments with their fans.
And obviously I don't like them. They beat us. They beat us twice.
They're good at beating you guys.
They're 6-0 against us. Wait. 6-0 against us
in the regular
season. Season.
Big thing.
Not for the Big Apple. Yep. So we'll put that out there.
So yeah, basically last words on the Niners. Fuck the Niners.
It's always been fuck the Niners.
It's always been fuck the Niners. No, but I would like to see Trey Lance be good. Or no, I can't. That was fake. Like I just don't think Trey Lance is going to be good.
I think they'll have a strong running game. They always do. Like I said, Shanahan is a genius. I mean,
I think one team, how good one team that we're going to get to is in this division will determine how good the Niners are.
Mm-hmm.
Because the next team we're talking about, the Seattle Seahawks, are not going to be any good.
No.
Do you want to spend any time on them? I mean, we already kind of talked about it a little bit. Drew Lock is potentially their quarterback, or Geno Smith. They drafted Matt. Crowd go to Panthers. Who did they draft at quarterback? It was, yeah.
They definitely don't. It's not Matt Corral though. He's Panther.
It was a guy like him.
But I mean, they got Blitz Boy. But
who?
Jamal Adams.
Oh my God.
Also hate him to death.
And that's just the funniest thing ever. He was wanting out of New York so bad, and I bet the Jets are better than the Seahawks this year.
I second that. I think the Jets will be much better than the Seahawks this year.
Seahawks are going to be the whipping boys. I mean, basically don't have a quarterback, but they do. I will give them one thing: they do have DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. So
I will say though, Russ has bailed them out of a lot of situations, and I think we're going to see the true colors of Pete Carroll this year.
yeah.
I think it's been past his time for about 2 or 3 years.
Well, what I think is what's going on. Everybody's huge on the quarterback class next year in the draft.
Oh, for sure.
So I think they got ahead of it, and they're going to try and be that number one pick and get Bryce Young or something from Alabama or something. But I definitely think they're playing for next year. They probably told that to DK when they signed him.
Oh yeah,
all
you got to be realistic at some point.
And obviously defensively they lost. I mean the Legion of Boom and all that shit is all the way gone. I mean you got Jamal Adams. Literally that's the only thing they got. And really,
and we got Bobby. So
yeah, Bobby's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Seattle. I'm sorry, Seahawks fans, but
you are the weakest link.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye. So this is the team I was mentioning. The 49ers' success this season is dependent upon the Arizona Cardinals. The last team we're talking about today, the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray just got signed.
This is going to be fun.
4 hours a week of studying he must do. I was really big on the Cardinals last season. Then by the end of the year, I started changing my tune on Kyler Murray. I think he's a tremendous talent, and I don't think you always make the point that you just don't think he's tall enough, can't see over the line type thing.
Well,
I get that.
I think that's a big aspect of it, but I think throughout his whole career, he's been pampered. I mean, he has always been that guy that's
what I'm getting at.
And I mean, I'm sorry, but they didn't put that damn clause in the contract for no reason. And you think that his agent didn't go over? You think they didn't read the contract? He was aware that it was in there. He just was mad that it was leaked.
Yeah. Well, last year, someone from the Arizona front office or something put out Kyler needs to stop fucking twitching too much.
Yeah,
he's playing too much Xbox.
COD. Yeah,
playing too much Call of Duty. That shit was coming out last year, and I think you can definitely see it because he'll play fucking. He'll have the best fantasy week by a mile one week, and then against the worst team, the Detroit Lions, he throws 3 picks. And this whole game tape thing coming up, it's obvious he doesn't watch film. And it's obvious he's not prepared like he should be.
And you go back and watch his highlights. What are they doing? He's running around.
You know what
I mean? And that's not gonna. At some point, that's not gonna work. Defensive linemen are getting faster every year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think obviously he's gonna be fast and agile for. I mean, he's 25 years old. So, I mean, he's got plenty of time to still do that. But the thing is, well,
and there's just been so much chaos around them. I don't know if you saw that report the other day where Cliff Kingsbury brought him to the side and made him call the offense. He was like, "See, that shit ain't so easy either." Like, what are you guys doing?
That's odd.
That's a weird thing to do.
And the Arizona Cardinals play the Kansas City Chiefs week 1 and
stomp them.
Cliff Kingsbury came out when the schedule got released and said he was doing an interview and he said that he got a text from Mahomes when the schedule came out with the eyeball emoji, and that's all.
Oh, I forget about that. That's cool
because he was his cousin in college. And especially with the offseason, like I already talked about, that Mahomes has had people kind of second guessing in his ability. He's coming in to fuck them up week 1, especially no DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know what's going on with Marquise Hollywood Brown, but that motherfucker's speeding all over Arizona.
Yeah, what a goober.
So I don't know if he's missing the game either, but I mean, I think that they have the ability to be the second best team in this division, but the gap between the Cardinals and the Rams, I think, is severe. And I would say that the 49ers would be better than the Cardinals if they had a better quarterback. If they had Jimmy G at quarterback, I'd still take the Cardinals, but
I'm interested to see how
49ers got everything but a quarterback.
I'm interested to see how their run game is going to be now they don't have Chase Edmonds. Because, I mean, obviously, James
Conner, baby, 15
last year,
tutties.
Touchdown vulture. But, I mean, wasn't always the guy to get him there, you know?
They get his backup. They
might have drafted some guy. I'm honestly not sure on that.
It's not like a nobody.
But they're throwing him in there as the number 1 guy. They want him to be the bell cow, and he's had a few injuries over the years too. And I don't know how that's going to work. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't see him having as successful season as he did last year.
I think the Cardinals
I will say this: Rondale Moore's dog.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
I'm looking at the Arizona Cardinals schedule real quick because I think obviously until your boy I'm about to say Deshaun Watson. So your boy DeAndre Hopkins comes back. That offense is not the same.
Mm-hmm.
They have AJ Green still.
They do.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
I don't know anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
especially after that drop touchdown or whatever, or he touched his fingers and he got picked or whatever.
well,
end
and
of the year last year.
it was nice for him when he was second fiddle with D-Hop out there. But I mean, what I don't know. Maybe he could have a stellar season. He was one of my favorite receivers in football.
Buddy.
Tough sketch.
Okay, so this is the first 6 games. Oh my fuck, bruh. First 3 games. They're definitely starting the season 0-3. The Cardinals start the season at home against the Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs. At the Raiders without DeAndre Hopkins. I think the Raiders.
Little Chandler Jones
game. Then revenge game. So I think the Raiders win that one because I'll just go with the home team there. But then they get the Rams. They ain't going to be ready for the Rams week 3. So you're talking about the Chiefs, Raiders, Rams, first 3 weeks of the season. Then they're traveling across country. They never do good in those games where they travel across the country. Last year, I remember so many times I picked the Cardinals to win games and they'd lose to the Lions and all these other teams. Then they go to the Panthers, Eagles, Seahawks. So the next 3 are not as... But I could absolutely see them being 2-4 when DeAndre Hopkins comes back. So I don't want to spend a lot of time. We didn't spend time on everybody else's schedule. I just wanted to look at that component. But so the 49ers actually might get second in the division. I don't know. I'm just no Hopkins.
That's big.
There's so many distractions with Kyler. Cliff Kingsbury, who the fuck knows? He just looks cool. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And then defensively, J.J. Watt.
Maybe they're just better.
I don't think. I heard somebody else. I can't remember who it was talking about. It was Chris Long. Chris Long knows all about the Cardinals. Played for the Rams for so long, but he thinks that the Cardinals are gonna dip this year, and I didn't like hearing that, but I think I might agree with him because there's just so many
things going on,
and no Chandler Jones is fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially at the beginning. Remember, didn't he have 5 sacks the first game or something last year? Yeah.
And he kind of cooled off, but then he probably started getting double teamed. But so I might have to be cooling my jets on my cards this year. Who's the team? That's it on that. I really do think that this division went from the best in football last season to, not saying definitely not the worst, but it's like top heavy. Rams are much better than the other 3. That's what I'll say. But with that being said,
I like that take.
Unsung hero NFC West.
Unsung hero. Well, see, this is tough. Obviously I talked all that about Allen Robinson, and after his year, what did he have last year? Like 400, 500 yards, something like that. It wasn't anything.
Very bad.
But you could tell, he was tired of playing with shitty quarterbacks,
But that's also on him a little bit. Why'd you sign with the fucking Bears?
Yeah. Chicago's a tough place to be. Yeah. But I think I'll give 2, just so I'm not as much of a homer. I'm going to go, obviously, Allen Robinson. I think he's going to have a stellar year.
I concur.
I'm saying 1,200 and 10 plus TDs.
Okay.
And then I think Rondale Moore is going to have a stellar year too. I think he's going to go crazy.
Okay.
Basically, Kyler Murray at receiver.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I like that. Definitely agree with Allen Robinson, and I just don't know if they're going to, because last year Rondale Moore had like a couple good games, and it seemed like they forgot how to use them.
Well, and you got D-Hop too, so
Sure.
But I think they're going to see. Because he's out, so they're gonna have to see what he's made of.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my unsung hero of the NFC West,
J.J. Watt,
is not J.J. Watt. It's gonna be. I almost stole a guy you just mentioned, Brandon Ayuk. I think he'll be really good.
Yeah, okay.
But he kind of made a splash. I'm gonna go with Geno Smith because I think Geno Smith takes the job from Drew Lock, because Drew Lock is trash. He's basically just a fucking trash can moving around with arms and legs. But Gino, like, dude, West Virginia. Let's take it back to the fucking Mountaineer days, bro.
Tavon Austin, baby.
Tavon
Stedman Bailey.
Yeah,
They were both Rams.
No, but the only reason I do that is because, like, I kind of always like Gino.
I like Gino too.
You know, and then
well, he came in a couple of games last year and
Yeah.
he played very well.
played very well. And I'm pretty sure I saw something out of Pete Carroll saying that he's probably their guy. I don't know. Just everybody online on Twitter just talking shit on Drew Lock and shit. Talking shit on that Twitter account that went at
the tennis, the US Open or whatever.
They went at Drew Lock or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Gino because he's got DK and Lockett. So that's
who knows? I could see him turning some heads. We'll see.
We'll see. That's definitely it. Now, finally, standings. We're both going Rams number 1.
Okay.
Who's 2 through 4?
I'm gonna have to go Cardinals 2, and then Niners 3, Seahawks last.
Okay. That's the same as mine. I almost talked myself out of it when I looked at the schedule. It's gonna be very interesting to see this whole. And dude, if Deshaun Watson, if it ends at 6 games with him, how are we gonna suspend DeAndre Hopkins 6 games? Like, bring that shit down to 4 or something. They can't be on the same level.
Yeah, it's wild.
We'll get to Deshaun Watson when we cover the
Calvin Ridley. Yeah.
Oh my God, so much depressing things. That's a pretty successful podcast, don't you think?
That was good.
Real nice.
What a way to lead off the year.
Yeah, we went an hour and 5 minutes somewhere.
Not too shabby.
You know, spent a lot of times on the Chiefs, a lot of times on the Rams.
Deservingly so.
Deservingly so. That's going to be the Super Bowl, possibly.
It could be.
Should have been last year.
It should have been, man.
Actually, should have been.
Yeah.
Fucking RPOs, Tyreek Hill. That's the reason they got rid of Tyreek. Motherfucker fucked up in the AFC title game. Get in the end zone, motherfucker. Nah, but yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty legit. Appreciate everybody listening. You got to see Dalton's face on the
hello.
So, I appreciate it. Much love, everyone. Listen, subscribe, share, do all that, and say what up, D-Mart. Say peace.
What up, people? Much love.
Peace, bros.